Hey, what's up everybody? In this video tutorial, we're going to be taking a look at how to create a Starburst candy. So up until this point, you've grabbed the dial calipers and you've gone out and you've gotten your measurements for the Starburst. So you're going to be needing a width, a height dimension, and a depth dimension. So in order to get started with the Starburst candy, we're going to come up here, pick on Create an Onshape, and pick on Document. All right, document title in this case is going to be Starburst Candy. I can go ahead and say OK on that. And now we can go ahead and get things started. So the first thing we need to do is come up and create a sketch. Okay, now the plane that you're going to be picking on to create the sketch does not matter. You have three different choices. Just simply pick on one, and now we can see that sketch one is now on top, in my case, of my uh, front work plane. Okay, once we are done with that, we can now go ahead and pick on the front to actually look at this, and now we can go ahead and get started. Okay, so anything that we're going to be creating an Onshape, our sketches are always going to be starting from the origin. So coming up here, we can find our rectangle command. Go ahead into rectangle. We're going to pick one time on the origin, move our mouse up, and then pick a second time to place that. Now it's going to be asking us for some dimensions. So in our case, I measured that up with my dial calipers, and I saw that that width was 0.786. Okay, if I hit enter, okay, we're now going to be specifying what our height is going to be, and in our case, it's going to be 0.802. All right, so it's not going to be a perfect square, but candy, last time I checked, is not perfect. All right, let's go ahead and green check this. Okay, so we have our sketch ready. Okay, it's been fully dimensioned, which means it is fully constrained. Okay, all we have to do now is we're going to come up here and just go into like a home view or an isometric view using the view cube. So we pick on this top corner of the view cube. Now we can see how it's gone into an isometric view. And now all we're going to do is do an extrusion. Okay, so just like a Play-Doh press, we're going to be forcing material through this profile opening, all right, and we're going to tell it to come out a certain distance. So in order to extrude, we're going to come up and find our extrude feature. Okay, now we're going to come down and pick on the inside of that square, and now we can see how that extrusion is coming out. All right, you do have the ability to flip this and go in any direction that you want, and we can also come down, all right, and we can switch this over to symmetric extrusion as well. So it's going to be taking the distance that we are telling it and dividing it by 2. All right, in this case, it really does not matter. I'm just going to be saying I want to bring this out, my distance, and looking at the dimensions, we can see that is 0.385. That's what we measured with our dial calipers, and we can just go ahead and green check that. All right, so our starburst is created. Right now, those work planes are kind of getting in our way, so we can come over here. We can see our top, our front, and our right work planes. We can just simply poke that in the eyeball. We can turn the visibility off on those work planes. So now we have our starburst, okay, just sort of floating out here in space. All right, and that starburst is now officially done. Now we can add color to this. All right, so the color that we're going to be adding to it can be found right over here. This is our color appearance. Okay, so we can go ahead and pick on that. And then all we have to do to change the color, by default, it's going to be this sort of gray steel color. Okay, if we just double click on this box right here, now we can change this up. So in my case, I'm going to say I chose a lemon starburst, so I can just pick a yellow color, apply that to it, and green check it. In order to get the appearance panel to go back in, we just simply hit the appearance panel icon, the bubbles, and that will go back in. All right, and that's it. That's how you create a Starburst candy using Onshape.